Well, I've just gotten off the bus here in Durrës, and to be honest with you, I really don't know where I am, but I know I'm near the port, which means I'm near the water, and that's good. So let's navigate this place. This is one of the oldest cities in Albania. People have been living here for thousands of years. But the city as we think of it was founded by Greeks in 627 BC. Since then, it's fallen under the dominion of Illyrians, Byzantines, Ottomans, Romans. And it's been fought over countless times, primarily because of one thing: its importance as a seaport. Well, I'm walking up some steps just up from City Hall and the teeming middle of this city, and what I've come upon is really quite incredible given the setting, and that is the largest Roman amphitheater in all of the Balkans. This amphitheater was built by the Roman Emperor Trajan in the 2nd century CE. So you would assume that it's been part of the uninterrupted landscape here for many centuries, but not so. Incredibly, it only began to be dug up in the 1960s, when about a third of it was uncovered. The rest of what you see here was uncovered in the 1980s. But even that's not to say all of it. I'm walking along a narrow residential street at the top of the amphitheater, and perhaps you can see the homes behind me. They're actually part of the site. They're built on top of the upper portion of the amphitheater. And there's been discussion for years of having these homes raised, but so far it hasn't happened. Despite the amphitheaters being exposed from the 60s to the 80s, almost no restoration work was done here until the early 2000s. And at the same time, a lot of deterioration has taken place. That's why this ancient Roman landmark has been listed among Europe's most endangered antiquity sites.
Within a 15-minute walk from the ruins, you're at the shoreline, where ships have dropped anchor at Durrës for centuries.
So this is the Adriatic Sea, and about 60 miles south of here, at Durrës, the imaginary line is drawn, and it becomes the Ionian Sea. In either case, Durrës is a pleasant surprise. Well, I've decided to have a late lunch here on the promenade in Durrës, looking out over the Adriatic. Have some seafood, some lobster and shrimp, along with some spaghetti. And I've chosen to have a beer with that. And I think I'm going to dig in.
At the train station later that afternoon, I was surprised to learn there was no train running. So I went upstairs and found a railways official who explained why.
Because had no train is the problem diesel for the war in Ukraine.
In Ukraine?
Yes.
So ever since the war started, you've not had diesel to run the trains?
Yes.
So I suppose this means all of the trains in Albania are currently closed?
Yes. This is one problem for us.
Mm-hmm. Any idea when they might start?
No.
Very uncertain times. Yeah. Well, I've got to tell you, I'm a bit disappointed because one of the reasons I came to Durrës today, one of them, not the exclusive reason, was that I had planned to take the train back to Tirana, or at least to Kashar, the village outside Tirana where the rail line stops. Just look at these train cars. They're like rolling antiques. The train system here is a relic of the communist era, and it's no secret that the Albanian government has spent very little money in the 30 years following the communist era to restore the train system. Its reputation actually is that of the most decrepit railway system in all of Europe, which is exactly why I'm disappointed that I won't make my train trip today. There are 4 engines parked here at the station. The one behind me, as you can see, has a plaque that says it was made in 1988 in Czechoslovakia. Yep, that's how old this train system is. Czechoslovakia. Well, beside me is the train I would have ridden, which interestingly has I would say the fewest broken windows of the several sets of passenger cars that I see here, but it still has plenty. The government has a goal to restore its passenger network, but the fact is it will take millions of dollars that's simply not available. And so this relic of a bygone era keeps rolling along on life support, caught in a kind of limbo.
So my would-be train adventure is stuck at the station. But I did enjoy my time at the city's shoreline. I had some great seafood. I got to poke around the unlikeliest of Roman amphitheaters. And ultimately, it all ended with a smile.
Past the point of no return, baby, on the summer night. The shot of love and the spark of laughter breathe. The stars align and the month-time night burn like a dried out leaf. Are we leaving on the next train 5, I don't hear it in my song. I'm gonna pull my weight, don't get me wrong. Brand new start and a whole new part, they are big old shoes to fill.